it's done. I am finally finished. The movie has been uploaded to YouTube and turned into Charla, and now all I gotta do is wait for graduation. And feels surreal to be here in this moment. Thank you all for joining along on this journey. It's definitely been a wild ride this semester. Lots of sleepless nights, lots of sleepless mornings, lots of coffee. But we pulled through and now we're here. And it's time for my final reflection. What was my thoughts about my research topic coming into the first week of the semester? I was definitely nervous. During my pre-capstone research paper, I didn't really come across a lot of evidence saying that, explicitly saying that the immigrants brought their stories with them. But, I don't want to say a lot of this was my own personal bias or my own personal thought, but I guess it kind of was. I just, something inside me felt compelled to tell this story, and so I, set out to do it, to investigate, and here we are today. So yeah, definitely nervous, and there was a fear of like, am I doing the right thing? I didn't want to get canceled for saying something wrong or like digging too deep into something maybe I shouldn't have. Who knows? I don't know. But yeah, that's how we started off, and my thoughts about this project now. It's definitely turned into something bigger than myself, and that's what's scary. Because like me just being a small potato here, I just felt like, am I really the right person to do this? But I feel like I am. And that's what's cool about this whole thing. I was talking to Charla a couple weeks ago, and she mentioned how this isn't like any other documentary on the plantation era. This feels more like an intimate conversation with my viewers, and I like that. I mean, I definitely cover like the historical side of things. I have the human interest part with my plantation descendant. It's just I don't know. This has a feeling of like of loss, if that makes any sense. And it became less of a like a history lesson though, and more of like a shared experience, I guess is a good way to put it. It's like it gives me chicken skin just thinking. Hey, just gives me chicken skin. Just thinking about it, and yeah, it's my baby, and it's I'm very proud of it, and that's for sure. What did I learn about myself as a creative through this journey? I discovered that I have the patience of a Victorian widow looking out to sea for her lost husband. If you've been following along on my blog, you would know that some archival journeys have been delayed, and some important people that I wanted to interview like, ghosted me. But I was able to pivot, take the loss and pivot, and just be really resilient and find things, find backups, find things to do. And I feel like being a non-traditional student, like being a little bit older than my peers, a little more experience, that I was able to do this, because I don't think I would have handled rejection or ghosting very well if I had been younger and doing this. Me back then was I would have cried and given up, for sure. But being a little older and a little wiser, now I think I was able to move on when things weren't working out. And so that's one thing that, you know, I'm really proud of and really glad that I stuck to it. And I also learned that I don't need to fill every single second with visual proof to be a good filmmaker. I learned to trust my voice and trust that my audience can handle the quiet moments. What did I learn about the creative and production process? I say this with a lot of love, but the production process is a nightmare. You can't control everything. And you can send all the follow-ups in the world that you can to people, but, you know, sometimes things happen and you gotta learn to pivot. Pivoting is a great creative tool. You know, when I couldn't get the footage from the Ulu Ulu archives at school, I just resorted to YouTube. And, you know, even though the quality wasn't as great as I was hoping for, like, I found stuff. I found stuff to put in here. So yeah, the process isn't a straight line, and it's a series of pivots until you find the heart of the story. That's my take on it. What advice would I give to new senior capstone students? Don't lose the passion. You selected your topic for a reason. It's something that's dear to your heart. Tell that story. You know, there will be days where imposter syndrome will take over. It did for me towards the end, where everything I was doing felt wrong and didn't make sense, but don't let it get the best of you. Don't lose the passion, for sure. If you're making a film, don't feel pressured to fill every spot. It's a conversation you're having with your viewers. Learn to pivot, for sure. And don't be afraid to pester people. If you need to get something, you know, a piece of important information for your project, you know, keep poking and prodding the person that you need that from. And also find somebody that can ease your worries and remind you why your project is special in the first place. For me, that was definitely Charla and definitely Samantha Farinella. They both provided great feedback for me and just really encouraged me to be a better filmmaker and a better investigator. And just, yeah, just find your people and keep them close. So where to now is the final question, and it's a good one. This film is about 24 minutes long, but It could be longer, or I could develop like a series out of this because there are so many more stories that need to be told, but I just haven't found the people to tell them. And so I've and this could turn into a series on Olelo or something if I pitch it to the right people. I've been told to enter this into HIF, so that's probably on the horizon sometime soon. As far as career goes, at the moment I don't have anything lined up, but I would love to have a social life again. So that's where my life is going. And with that, I think we are Powell. This is it. Thank you again for joining me on this journey. To the future capstone seniors, good luck, and like I said before, don't lose the passion. You are telling a story for a reason. Aloha.